Mrs Mason here. I'm going to give you a brief overview of GCSE PE. So the course is split up into three main components. So the first is the theory aspect, which includes 2 exam papers. The second is practical performance. So students will be required to take part in 3 different sports for 30%. And finally, the smallest component is the coursework. You'll be required to write quite a short piece of coursework that's worth 10%. So the exam papers. Each exam paper is 30%. The first paper is about the human body and movement in physical activity in sport. So in this paper, we study the main body systems and how they react to exercise. We look at our muscles and bones and how they work together to allow us to play sport. And we study different athletes, how they train for their sport, and we compare these types of training. 2, which is also worth 30%, we look at the social cultural influences and well-being in physical activity in sport. So for example, you will study sports psychology, so you may look at different personality types and which sports they are best suited to you. We'll study a number of ethical issues as well as social cultural issues in sport. For example, we look at performance enhancing drugs and why athletes may take them. We look at hooliganism in football and new technology in sport and how that's helping officials make decisions. So the practical performance. The practical part of the course is worth 30%, and for that 30% you're required to take 3 sports. The first is a team activity sport, so you have to take 1 off the list on the left. The second is from the individual activity, so the list on the right. And then you choose 1 other, so from either list. So for example, I may decide to choose football from the team activities list. I might choose swimming from the individual activities list. And then I might choose badminton, doubles on the team activity list. You will notice that some sports are on there twice. That just means doubles for racket sports and singles as well. You'll also notice that there are sports on here that we don't offer at Chauncy. It's absolutely fine for you to take sports that aren't on the list, that we don't offer at Chauncy. However, you must be taking part in these already outside of school. We do ask that students play at least 1 sport outside of school to take GCSE PE as well. So the coursework, this is the smallest weighting, is worth 10%. So for this, you're required to analyse and evaluate a performance in 1 activity from the specification. So you will select your favourite sport or the sport you know most about and identify strengths and weaknesses in a performance in that sport. And your coursework can be assessed on your own performance, or it can be assessed on the performance of someone else. So finally, why take GCSE PE and what can it lead to in the future? So if you're inspired by sport, you love sport, and you want to develop knowledge and an understanding of the factors that underpin physical activity in sport, then this is definitely the course for you. If you have any other questions regarding GCSE PE, then please do not hesitate to email me.